Hey, Ellie, I'm going to take my daughter over to your house, so make sure to take good care of her. Ellie, could you please answer me when I text you? Sorry, I was getting ready to leave and left my phone in the other room. What do you mean you're bringing Julia over to my house? Well, I had no idea about this, but apparently she doesn't have school today. Because it's the school's 50th anniversary after its establishment. She's saying that she needs lunch. But I've already scheduled lunch with the girls. You know what I'm trying to say. No, I really don't. Well, I've been longing for this day for a really long time. I mean, who wouldn't? It's a buffet with cake and all kinds of sweets. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to take my daughter out for lunch and look after her until I come back. I'm sorry for not being able to help, but I have a shift at work in an hour. So I won't be able to look after Julia today. What? Well, that's too bad, because I already sent Julia on her way to your house. What? I am telling you, I can't look after her for today. I am literally about to leave. You say work, but it's literally a part-time job, isn't it? It's not like you're going to keep that job forever, so you shouldn't feel bothered about taking a day off. I need to go because my contributions to the family savings are necessary to keep up with the level of living that we currently have. But you don't even have kids to feed! Haven't you heard from your brother that he moved jobs quite recently? He's starting as an entry-level employee, so his salary has gone down since his last job. But that doesn't change the fact that you two don't have kids, right? I'm sure you don't spend nearly as much as I do having to feed my kids. Look, I'm sure you could manage to take one tiny day off of your low-paying job. It's not just the money. If I suddenly take a day off out of nowhere, then it might ruin my image from my boss and colleagues. Seriously? I'm starting to feel bad for you, honey. You have to act like a goody two-shoes at your own workplace? I'd suffocate if I were ever to have to work at a place like that. I mean, not that I'd ever know how you feel since I married an elite engineer at a mega tech company. If you feel bad for me, then it would really help for you not to leave your child over at our house so often. Why are you getting so worked up? Do you hate Julia or something? Of course not. Julia is an amazing girl. Then why are you complaining? I'm just letting my infertile sister-in-law have a taste of what it's like to raise a child, since she can't have one of her own. This is all out of the kindness of my heart. Why don't you show a little more appreciation for my efforts to make you feel better about yourself? Wow. And I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but you really did let our family down when we found out that you couldn't have kids. I mean, George is the only boy in the family, so he would have been our only hope to continue our bloodline. But thanks to you, he failed his mission. So I'm letting you prove your worth to the family by giving you a job. Be grateful. Such a useless wife. I feel so bad for poor George. We both know that you're just using me to your advantage because you don't want to do the work yourself. Oh, please. Look, as I said at the beginning of this conversation, I can't take care of Julia today. So just call her back to your house. No can do. I've sent her over and that's final. I'm right about to step out of the door, so she won't be able to unlock the door until I come home. Take good care of her. How could you be so irresponsible? Wouldn't it be irresponsible to abandon your niece and leave for work? Which is more important, your niece or your job? It's not a matter of which is more important to me. Before even discussing anything, she's your own daughter, isn't she? Then take responsibility for the life that you created yourself. My husband is out on a business trip right now. I'm taking care of my daughter all by myself. Can't I go on a little lunch break and have a little bit of fun with my friends? I wouldn't mind at all if it were once in a few months. You send Julia to our house without notice 2 or 3 times every month. If I could, then I would send her over every week. You know, I don't get much alone time when my husband is in town, so it's my chance to have quality time by myself. Julia is always bothering me and chains me down from having my alone time. Seriously? Even if that thought came to your mind, you shouldn't say that aloud as a mother. Is it really my fault that I'm tired of her, though? Even my own mother-in-law became cold all of a sudden when she found out that my baby was going to be a girl and not a boy. She left in the middle of the gender reveal. I guess everyone wants a boy so that their bloodline continues on. You haven't told Julia about that story, have you? I'm not that bored. I have more to do than tell stories to my kid. Thank God. But seriously though, ever since that girl was born, all that's changed is that I have more chores to take care of, and that's it. You know, if I'd known that it was going to be a girl, then I probably wouldn't have given birth. If she wasn't here, then I would have tons of time to go out partying like when I was single. I can't believe you just said all of that. How could God ever allow someone like this to become a mother, and not me? I think God chose not to make you a mother so that you could babysit my kid. I hope you have fun with Julia. Well then, I'm sure she'll be there soon, so take good care of her. She hasn't eaten lunch yet, so make sure to give her some. Oh, and as a matter of fact, feed her some dinner too. Thanks so much, XOXO. How many times do I have to tell you that I have work today? Well, it's not like I can change my plans this suddenly. I'll text you when I'm coming home, so make sure to take Julia home by then, all right? Well then, see you. Wait, Haley! George! Haley did it again. She just sent Julia over and left.
What's the problem with that?
You know that I have work today. And she won't even read my texts or answer my calls, so I think she has me on mute right now. Could you please call her and convince her?
Convince her to what? If she had to make Julia come over, then wouldn't that mean that she had a valid reason to do so?
I mean, if you consider lunch with her friends as a valid reason.
Haley's been really busy taking care of her house and raising Julia. Why don't you cooperate a little and just let her have some fun once in a while?
Really? Once in a while? She's been sending her child over to us without notice over and over again for the past few months. I get that we all need a break once in a while, but that doesn't mean that she gets to disregard our needs whenever she wants.
2 or 3 times a month counts as once in a while. And you can't give birth to a child of our own anyways. You'd never understand how difficult it is to do her job as a mother. So why don't you cooperate a little and take some weight off of her shoulders?
All right. Then why don't you take a day off from work and come take care of her?
Are you dumb or something? I'm taking care of an infertile, useless wife like you. I'm working a job that I don't even like for you. If you want to talk back to me, then I suggest that you do so after you start earning more than me with your part-time job.
The only reason that I can't make more money than I already do is because you want to qualify for the dependency deduction policy. If you would allow me to, then I would be making more by now.
Yeah. You can make all the excuses that you want. That doesn't change the fact that you'll never make more money than me. As a matter of fact, since you can't even give birth, the only way that you can make yourself useful is to do the work around the house.
Oh, so that's all I am to you? Seriously?
If you haven't noticed by now, I've been going through a lot after changing jobs. I don't have time for your nonsense. So why don't you solve some of your own problems on your own? I'm sure even your useless self will be able to do it.
Why do you have to word it like that?
Whatever. I don't have time for you. Just do whatever Haley's asking you to do. Think of it as my sister blessing you with an opportunity to get to feel like you're raising a child of your own.
You sound exactly like your sister right now.
That's great. I have to get back to work, so don't contact me until I tell you to. And also, excessive complaining is one of the top reasons for divorce, so watch out. You barely make any money with your job right now, and you don't have any savings. On top of that, you can't even have kids. No guy would want you, and you wouldn't be able to sustain yourself. So watch your mouth when you talk to me.
How could you say that to your own wife?
The only reason you're still my wife is because you're obedient. So I suggest that you shut your mouth and listen to my sister. Or else I'm gonna lose any reason to keep you around. Besides, Julia's a very common, unproblematic kid. You probably won't even notice that she's there.
But...
I'm done with this conversation.
Why won't you bother to listen to me? I had to tell my boss that I couldn't show up last week, too. I'll lose my job if I keep doing this. George? Hey, Ellie, what are your plans for the 15th to the 22nd of next month? I just have work like always. Wait, you have work for the whole week? Wow, I could never work like a slave like that. I don't have to go every day, but I still have to show up for a couple extra days to make up for the days I took off to look after your daughter. See, I told you that you could make it work. Well then, I guess that means that you'll be able to make things work for next month too then. What do you mean by make things work? The truth is, I'm gonna go on a family trip with my parents and my brother. A family trip? Yep, we're going overseas. I just finished renewing my passport today. Wait, then why can't you just take your daughter with you? Why would I take my daughter on the family trip? What do you mean? My family is me, my brother, and my parents. No one else counts as family. What? But she's your own daughter. We can't take a kid everywhere we go. Besides, I want to go to bars and parties during the night. And how am I going to hook up with anyone if there's a kid with me? I'm way too young and good-looking for guys to leave alone. That's your reason for leaving your daughter behind with me? What do you think your husband is going to say about that? It doesn't matter. He's always away on business trips anyway. I just tell him that you're constantly asking me if you can have Julia over. Since, you know, you can't have children of your own. Why would you lie about that? Thanks to my explanation, my husband doesn't have a doubt in his mind that Julia always stays over at your place out of mutual agreement. But I've never begged you to let me have Julia over before. So, you know, you should really fix your attitude. You'd never understand how it feels to be a mother anyway. The only way that you can make yourself worth anything is to work for me. So I suggest that you do that. The only way to make myself worth anything? It's already been decided that we're going on the trip. So just give up and be prepared to take care of her for a week. Whatever. Fine. I'll be sure to prepare really well for that. We're about to go to the airport in George's car. I sent Julia on her way to your house, so take good care of her. I mean, George would throw you right away if you don't, so it's not like you have a choice. I never would have expected my brother marrying an infertile woman to be this useful. There's no need for him to throw me away. I've already divorced him. What? What do you mean you've already divorced him? I turned in the necessary papers, so now we're officially divorced. I haven't felt this free in so long. I don't understand. George is saying that he has no idea what you're talking about. He's been using a signed divorce paper to blackmail me into doing what he wants me to. The same thing has been going on for a while, and it was starting to get annoying. So I just signed my part of the papers and turned them in. That doesn't count. He was just joking. Since when do people sign divorce papers as a joke? And no matter what you say it is, if you sign an official paper, then it automatically possesses power. I wanted to get the divorce done anyway, so I don't think there's an issue at all. So what if you do get divorced? You're just a useless part-time worker who doesn't have money or any skills. You wouldn't make it through a single month without George. I'll be fine. I was just officially hired full-time by the place that I was working part-time at. Wait, full-time? You got a job? Yep. I've already finished moving out of the house thanks to the tiny amount of savings that I had left. I'll be living in the company's dorm from now on, so your brother won't ever have to see me anymore. I have a job and my own place now, so I don't need him anymore. I mean, the legal procedures are complete, so we're legally strangers anyway. Wait, you already left your house? Then who's gonna look after Julia while I'm gone? You don't have to worry one bit about Julia. She's meeting up with someone who can take way better care of her than a complete stranger like me. Right about now. She doesn't have any family nearby other than you. Of course she does. Someone who cares about her well-being more than you ever could. You know, the one last family member that isn't with you right now. You're bluffing. There's no way. That one last person is somewhere in Asia right now. There's no way he could just fly back here. In fact, he already told me that he wasn't coming back home until the end of this month. Well, I guess there was a change in plans because he told me that he took a paid leave and flew back here. What? But he never told me anything about that. Do you think you can just make him come back because you can't take care of Julia? How irresponsible are you? Me? Through the eyes of anyone who has a normal thought process, you're obviously the one who's irresponsible here. I'm not irresponsible. Well, I think your husband disagrees with you. Deeply. What's that supposed to mean? Well, I explained every single detail about what's been happening between us regarding Julia to your husband. Like, every single detail? Yep. Wait, how on earth do you know my husband's number? Remember the New Year's party that we had with the whole family? Yeah. Well, I asked him for his contact details during that party. You know, since I'd been looking after Julia for quite a while. I just thought that it would be good to have both of your contacts in case there was any type of emergency. At the time, I thought that your husband was just the same as you and your brother, and that he was fine with making me take care of your daughter as a way to patronize me for being infertile. But after you told me that he didn't know that I was being forced to do this, I decided to take a chance and reach out to him, to tell him what was really going on. Wait, so how much does he know? Everything there is to know. The fact that I'm not willingly taking care of his daughter, and that you've been forcing me to do your job as a mother, even on days when I should really be at work. I also told him in great detail about how you, your mother, and your brother have changed completely after finding out that I won't be able to have kids. The way that you all would use me like a maid, saying that that's the only thing I'm good for? You're joking. Nope. And I got a very long and sincere apology from him after telling him all of this. He apologized for believing everything that you told him instead of making sure for himself. My husband apologized to you? Yep. And after I told him that I'd made dinner for Julia many times but hadn't received any money for it, he handed me a pretty large sum of money, saying that it was for any unpaid compensation and expenses. What? He shouldn't be paying a single penny to you. The money that he earns belongs to our family. Give it back. Why don't you tell that to your husband? I'm sure the two of you will be having a long talk about money after this. I've heard that figuring out the whole thing about child support can be a hassle. Wait, what do you mean, child support? Well, I mean, you have children and you're getting divorced, so there will be some child support that you're going to have to pay. Divorce? What do you mean, divorce? This is your fault. My husband divorced me and took my child. He took everything from me. He's even saying that I'll have to pay him child support. What are you gonna do about this? He was the best option that I was ever going to find. What do you mean it's my fault? It sounds like all of this is the result of your own actions. Shut up. I've already told George, so he's going to have a long talk with you about this. I I mean, I would love to have a long talk with George, but I've already blocked him, so that won't be happening. Wait, you blocked him? Yep. I just thought it would be easier for me to have my lawyer do everything, so I just sent him my lawyer's number and blocked him after that. Even though the divorce is done, we still have to discuss terms about how to divide the assets that we own and things like that. Besides, I'll be suing him for all of the verbal and mental harassment that he's dealt me about being infertile. So I'm gonna need a lawyer anyways. Wait, do you seriously think that you're in a place to be suing other people? Because you're dead wrong. We should be suing you, if anything. Well, I'm suing you along with your brother. Why? Do you not remember the countless times that you made me go through physical labor against my will? What physical labor? The physical labor of taking care of your daughter while you were out having fun. I'm not sure about how much I'll be able to get from you on this, but no one's getting away unbothered. Do you know what you're doing? I might get divorced from my husband. I won't be able to pay anything. Everything was going perfectly until you ruined it. Your own actions are what took away the trust that you once had from your husband. And I can say that with confidence because I can tell how deeply your husband loves your daughter, unlike you. What am I supposed to do now? I finally found someone who earns tons of money and isn't home most of the time. He was perfect. He told me that he was going to have you pay him back. Pay him back what? All of the money that you spent for yourself when it was really meant for Julia. Oh no, please stop him. Why? Well, I kind of lied about some of the expenses that I said were for Julia's school clubs and other fees, and I used it to go out for lunch and buy things for myself. Great, I'll be sending a screenshot of what you just said to your husband. No! Wait, I'm just kidding! You told him that she was on the soccer team, volleyball team, swim team, and chess club, right? I can't wait until he finds out that Julia's only on the chess club, and that she never needed equipment for any sport. You took pictures of her during tryouts for those teams, and you're still using those pictures to lie, right? He's saying that he'll take every single cent and every single lie into account, and figure out how much he'll be suing you for. But my perfect plan! Look, I'm sure every parent has their ups and downs. But it's just wrong to see you use your own child to your advantage to get some extra money. That's just not acceptable. I'll be handing our whole conversation to your husband, so be prepared. Wait, please! Aren't you my older sister? I'm begging you, don't make things worse. Ellie, I can't go on a trip like this! Haley and her husband ended up getting divorced as warned, and as you could probably have guessed, her husband got the rights to Julia. After finishing the legal process, I heard that Julia moved to another country with her father. As announced, I sued my ex-husband and his sister for compensation. They both ended up losing against me and tried to rely on their parents for money. But they just ended up getting ridiculed by their parents and kicked out of their house. I guess I know where they got their amazing personalities from now. As of right now, I don't know or care about what the two are doing or where they are.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Congrats on your engagement, Amy. I heard you officially got engaged today. I hope you live a wonderful life with my brother. Huh? I don't need someone who failed their first marriage to tell me to live happily. I don't need someone like you to tell me what to do. How about you focus on your happiness instead? You failed your first marriage and now you're all alone. If you don't hurry up and find someone, you're going to live a sad life when you're older. Yeah, you're right. I should hurry and find my happiness too. Anyway, moving back to the subject at hand, I want to send you guys a gift to congratulate you two. Do you have any home appliances or something that you've been wanting? I don't need anything from you. Receiving a gift from someone who got divorced is just not something I need. I couldn't stand having something that someone like that would send to my house, so don't bother sending anything to us. Also, don't force yourself to get along with me. Amy, did I do something to make you mad? You're being a bit colder than usual. It's not that I don't like you specifically. I just don't like people who have gotten divorced. I don't want people like that around me. But why? We just got engaged today and we're so happy about it. Our future together is looking bright and I'm super happy about this, which is the complete opposite energy that you have. Your future is dark and you spend your days alone and sad. It feels like all that bad energy is going to spread over to me. That's not true. Just because I've gotten a divorce doesn't mean that I'm living a sad life. I'm quite happy. You thinking that it's all bad vibes is rather rude of you. But those who have gotten a divorce usually have friends who are just like them. I think that's pretty much a good reason why I shouldn't be around you. If you want us, especially your brother, to be happy, then you'll get the message and leave us be. I mean, but we're family now. It sucks that I won't be able to get along with you. I'm not happy about it either. I wanted for us to be able to go out for lunch and happily hang out with each other, and you could have given me some marriage advice. Because you're a divorced woman, you're practically useless. Did you just call me useless? I don't need someone who had a failed marriage to teach me anything. I would appreciate it if you could leave me alone as best as you can. I don't need your bad vibes to ruin my marriage. Oh, really? Well, if that's how you feel, then I'll do as you ask and leave you alone. I won't send any gifts and avoid interaction with you as much as possible. I hope your happy married life lasts.
Hey, Miley. How are you doing?
I'm doing horrible, thanks to you. I didn't think that I would get a text from my ex-husband now, of all times.
What happened? What's with the attitude?
Because of you, my brother's wife completely hates me. Just when I thought that I would finally get a cute little sister, she completely blew me off, saying that she didn't want to be around a woman who had a failed marriage. Why do I have to go through something like this just because you and I got divorced?
Wow, that's pretty harsh. A bit funny, not gonna lie, but still harsh.
I would tell my brother about this, but I don't want to cause any problems for the newly wedded couple. You cheat on me and we get a divorce. My sister-in-law hates me and this year sucks. I should start looking up ways to get rid of this whole bad luck thing I've got going on.
Oh, poor you. I'm doing completely fine on the other hand. I met my soulmate.
You're what?
Yup, that's right. I've met my soulmate. The first time we met, it was like an electrical current ran through me. I'm going to marry that girl.
Hang on. What do you mean you met your soulmate? What happened to the woman you were seeing when we were married? I thought she was the one for you.
Well, turns out she wasn't the one.
Wasn't it?
I was very serious about pursuing a relationship with her. All she wanted was to have fun. Because of her, I had to deal with the alimony from our divorce, and yet she cut all contact with me.
Oh, wow. Poor you. You said you were going to marry that girl and handed me quite a large sum of money.
Yeah, but soon after that, I found my real soulmate on this dating app. The moment I saw her, it was like a Cupid shot me in the heart. What's even better is that she said that she wants to pursue a relationship with me in the hopes of getting married.
Congrats to you. Is that what you wanted to hear? I mean, why else would you announce this to your ex-wife? Or are you perhaps so bored that you figured you'd pass the time bugging me?
No, you've got it all wrong. I didn't text you to brag. I texted you because I wanted to ask for some advice.
Some advice?
The thing is, I had to end things with my soulmate because she said something about her parents who had already found her a suitor. So we had to end things, sadly.
How unfortunate of you guys.
Well, she tried her best to convince her parents, but it didn't work out. Turns out she's gonna have a wedding soon with that other guy.
Wow, you met your soulmate and you won't get your happily ever after. Sucks to be you.
No, I won't let this happen. I want to be happily ever after. She likely has not forgotten about me yet. I'm sure she's waiting for me to stop the wedding.
Wait, what do you mean that you're planning on crashing the wedding?
That's right. I think that this is the only way that this will work. I've been trying to plan on how I'm going to do this, so I decided to ask you which of these options would make her the happiest. Should I just go casually, or should I go in a tux?
What a pathetic question to be asking. Ask these questions to a different girl and not your ex-wife.
Well, I don't have any other female friends I could ask. I don't know if it's because of the divorce, but all my female friends distanced themselves from me.
Well, of course they did. You cheated on your wife. That makes you an enemy.
Which is why you're my only hope here. I'll send you the details about our wedding to you later, and once I get them. So please, help me out here.
Hey, Miley, it's been a while. Do you have time right now? I have a favor to ask. How rare for you to request something from me. It's a very simple request. You received the wedding invitation, yes? I want you to reply to the invitation stating that you're not attending. Why would I do that? Because I don't want you to be there, obviously. I didn't even want to send you the invitation in the first place. I obviously couldn't say that to Kent, so here I am contacting you directly about it. I'm guessing the reasoning behind this is because of my failed marriage. My bad vibes are going to ruin it. Yep, exactly that. Weddings are supposed to be full of joy and purity. If a person with a horrible aura like yours is there, then everything would be pointless. Horrible aura? That's the step up from bad vibes? Why do I have to endure this name calling for the simple fact that I got a divorce? I mean, but I'm not wrong about this. You were happily married and then your husband cheated on you. You get a divorce and now you're living a lonely life by yourself. I'm sure you're the type to curse any happy couples you see walking around. You have a horrible aura. I don't do things like that. Goodness, you're a helpless one. Here I am keeping my promise of leaving you alone, and yet here I am getting told that I'm not allowed to my own little brother's wedding? It's your fault for being a divorced wife with rancid vibes. Make sure you select not attending on the invitation. I already ripped up and threw away the invitation. Wait, why would you do that? I went out of my way to send you that invitation and you threw it away? Is it that you're upset about our marriage? You don't want to see us happy at the wedding, so you ripped up the invitation and threw it away? Huh? How rude of you to do such a thing. Bitter divorced women are a different level of scary. The scary one is you. To think that you were two-timing this whole time, I couldn't even imagine you to be that type of person, which makes it scarier. What? Me? You're accusing me of being a two-timer? The reason I ripped up the invitation is that I got a message saying that the wedding was canceled. My brother texted me a few minutes ago that he canceled the wedding so I could throw away that wedding invitation. So I decided to do exactly that. Huh? What do you mean the wedding is canceled? Why would he cancel the wedding? Your two-timing was brought to light, and that the person who you were seeing was going to crash your wedding. That would be reason enough to make sure that the wedding would be canceled. It's the most logical reaction. Hang on! There's no way that I would be a two-timer. I've been with your brother and your brother only. We just got married and have been happy since. There's no way I'd do something like that to ruin his happiness. Too bad for you, but I've been informed from the man you've been cheating on with. You can make up as many excuses and lies as you want. It won't change the fact that we know the truth. The man I've been cheating on with? To think that you were cheating on my brother with my ex-husband. He had no idea what was going on and was just talking for hours on end about everything. What? Hang on, wait. What do you mean he's your ex-husband? It's such a weird coincidence, right? The man who wants to get married again after divorcing me wants to marry my brother's wife. What a mess. Sounds like you guys have been together for about 6 months now? Not to mention you were planning on marrying him as well. Well, the thing is, you ended up picking my brother instead and lied to my ex-husband, saying that your parents had already found you a suitor and wouldn't accept your guys' relationship, so you ended things with him. Am I getting this right? No way. Why do you know about that as well? Well, that's because he told me everything. It seemed like he couldn't accept the relationship ending this way. So much so that he tried to resolve things his way. He didn't want to accept that you would get married to someone else who wasn't him. He was convinced that you were waiting for him to rescue you, so he made the plan to crash your wedding. Crash the wedding? He was planning out how to completely stop the wedding, going as far as to ask me for help. Which is how I found out and told everything to my brother. Of course, with proper evidence of your infidelity, which is why we're here now, with the wedding being canceled. You're kidding, right? How did this all happen? I thought I managed to get rid of him perfectly. And what was he thinking, assuming that I would be waiting for him to rescue me? I'm the one here who should be questioning things. I didn't think you were the type to cheat. A really big shock once the truth came out. Of course, I love your brother so much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. He was just taking too long to propose to me, so I got bitter and impatient and decided to see another man for a while. Oh, so you finally tell the truth. Then your brother finally proposed to me, so I lied about my parents and broke up with your ex-husband. I thought that I would finally get the marriage life that I dreamed of. So how did everything turn upside down in an instant? Well, if you guys end up getting a divorce, then you'll be a divorced woman just like me. Welcome to the club of rancid vibes, horrible auras, and just overall bad vibes. I don't want that! Make sure you guys talk out about what's going to happen now, okay?
Okay, hear me out, Miley. That woman was lying to me. She didn't have a suitor already. She just had a different man that she wanted to marry and cast me aside. She got all mad at me for ruining her life.
Oh no, your soulmate did all that to you? Poor you.
She wasn't my soulmate. This entire thing opened my eyes. Miley, let's get back together. We still have a chance, right?
What? You did not just say what I think you just said.
I didn't know that the woman I thought was my soulmate was your brother's wife. But in the end, it all leads back to you. You're my soulmate. You and I are tied by the red strings of fate.
Please stop with your idiotic rambling. I'm already with someone else I am planning to marry. Besides, you and I getting back together will never happen. Find someone else to marry.
You're with somebody else? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you're planning on getting remarried with a man other than me. I'm here for you, and yet you have a boyfriend?
Are you saying that after you decided to get with Amy after our divorce? It shouldn't matter if I'm with somebody else if you do the same.
It's only been barely a year since we parted. Are you getting married that quickly?
After getting divorced once, it just feels easier to get through some stages of a relationship faster. I think it's the feeling of not being afraid to lose anything. I'll just go for it, and if it goes bad, then I'll just end the relationship.
But, so you're not gonna give us another shot?
Of course not. Just because things got easier for me doesn't mean that I would go for a man who I know isn't faithful. Anyway, take care of yourself. I'll be sure to show you that I'm living life happily. What do I do, Miley? Your brother and I got divorced. He told me with such a scary look on his face to sign the papers and didn't even let me defend myself. He just left without a word. He wouldn't forgive me no matter how many times I apologized. We're now the same. Congrats. You're now a bitter woman with bad vibes like me. I didn't think that I'd ever have to go through this. Oh, but wait. I guess you and I changed roles now since I'm getting married soon. Well, good luck on being seen as bitter. Wait, you're getting remarried? You had a partner this whole time, and that's not fair. I want to get remarried too. I want to fix our relationship and get married again. You still haven't given up on my brother? Of course not. I did love him. Sure, I did something stupid and cheated on him, but he is the one I love. Please, Miley, help us out. Help us get back together. Sorry, Amy, but I don't think I could let my brother marry a bitter woman like you, so I can't help you out here. But divorced women are bitter and have such negative energy. All the negative energy might spread around, and I don't want that to happen. Weren't you the one who said something like that? So, listening to your words, I will not approve of you being with my brother. So it'd be better if you understood your place and left my brother alone. Forever. If you love him that much, then you could do that, right? I mean, you wouldn't want your negative energy to spread to your beloved, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making fun of you being divorced. I didn't think about how you felt and said all those horrible things to you. You're a bit too late to apologize. Your divorce, your infidelity being revealed, it's all karma just getting back at you for your actions. If you have time to apologize like that, then maybe you should use it to rethink your life choices. Amy had to pay for the wedding venue cancellation fees along with alimony. My brother, who didn't know that she was making fun of the fact that I was a divorced woman, told me that he was glad he ended things with her quickly. Once Amy's friends, who were also divorced, heard about what happened to her, they all immediately returned the favor of cruel words she had once said to them. And they all eventually cut ties with her, claiming that her negative energy would spread to them. As for my ex-husband, he did send multiple messages about how sorry he was, but after I sent him a picture of how happy my current husband looked at our wedding, the messages stopped. A picture of someone's happiness is an effective thing, I learned.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
How is it that every time I think you couldn't possibly be any worse of a person, you end up proving me wrong? At what point are you going to ask yourself, maybe I ought to stop tormenting my sister? Whoa, somebody's grumpy. Good afternoon to you too, Mia. What's on your mind? You seem to be upset about something, and I have no idea what in the world it could possibly be. Don't play dumb with me. You know exactly what you did. Aunt Rebecca stopped by the house today carrying a massive stack of profiles from a matchmaking service. I never asked her to hook me up with a matchmaker, so I asked her why she went to all that trouble for me. And she told me that you had asked her to do it. Holy cow, she got all those profiles printed out already? I knew I was right to ask Aunt Rebecca to do that. She works really fast. You've been telling a stupid pack of lies about me to the whole family, haven't you? Like how I tried to hit on your fiancé. Does that ring a bell? And then when he shot me down, I went into a depressive spiral and didn't get out of bed for a week. I can't tell you how many of our relatives have come by to lecture me about flirting with my little sister's fiancé, even though I did no such thing. You were the one who was hitting on my fiancé. Unlike your fake story about me, he didn't shoot you down. No, he broke up with me because of you. Let me think. No, I don't remember telling anyone about that. Maybe it was someone else. But in any case, it's true that you didn't get out of bed for a week, right? I'm your little sister, Mia. It makes me concerned to see you so depressed, so I thought I'd try and help you out. The best way to forget one guy is to get with another guy. You are unbelievable, Lily. I know, right? Unbelievably kind, unbelievably caring, unbelievably beautiful. I cared so much about you that I went to Aunt Rebecca to sign you up for a matchmaking service and get you out of this icky little slump you've been in. So I don't know what you're getting all mad at me about. I was only trying to help. Uh-oh. Do you think you might be going through early menopause? Sudden mood swings is one of the signs, you know. Oh, go screw yourself, Lily. You know exactly what you did and how it would make me feel. You did this on purpose. Mind if I ask you a question? Why are you texting me exactly? Didn't you say you never wanted to speak to me ever again? What happened to that? I guess you just couldn't resist talking to me. I can't blame you for wanting to talk to me. I am pretty darn awesome. I hate you so much, Lily, with every fiber of my being. You slept with my fiancé while we were still engaged. Not only have you never apologized for that, you even seem like you're proud of it. I don't even consider you to be my sister anymore. You are dead to me. So stop screwing with me.
What's the matter with you, Mia? Lily went out of her way to extend a helping hand and you just throw it in her face?
Oh, for the love of, now I have to deal with you?
Your little sister knows how sad and lonely you are right now and had you signed up for a matchmaking service to help you find someone to heal your emotional scars. She even got your Aunt Rebecca to work together with her on your profile. Did you even say a simple thank you for her concern? No, you told her she was dead to you. I feel so bad for Lily.
Go pound sand, you lying, cheating bastard. I'm not going to mince words with you, Carter. Never contact me again. Every time you text me, the image of your backstabbing, deceitful face pops into my mind and makes me want to puke.
Wow, Lily was right about you. I think you are going into early menopause. Man, did I ever dodge a bullet when I broke up with you.
I need an aspirin.
Something happens to women when they turn 30. They turn into vicious psycho harpies. This nasty attitude of yours is exactly why I dumped you, you know. You were already on thin ice with me just by turning 30, but with that attitude on top of it, no one's ever gonna want you anymore. Meanwhile, your sister Lily is young, beautiful, and not a psycho harpy.
I don't care what you think about me.
Yup, that's another one of your personality flaws. You never cared about me enough. Remember when I told you that you needed to do all of the housework like a woman should? You got super ticked and started whining to me like, "Don't treat me like a maid."
You were treating me like a maid. I had every right to get angry with you. We got engaged and moved in together, and within days you were telling me that I had to do all the housework. I tried telling you that I don't have enough time to do all the housework because of my job, but you never listened to me. And to top it all off, you cheated on me. How was I supposed to react to all of that? Laugh it off?
Did you really expect me to be satisfied by some 30-something woman? If you're expecting your husband not to cheat on you at your age, you're never gonna find a man.
What?
No man is interested in women over 30, Mia. Female beauty is like a ticking time bomb that goes off the night before their 30th birthday. After that, the only thing you're good for is doing housework and popping out babies. And if you're not going to do either of those, then what good are you? Like I said, you'll never find a man. That's why Lily signed you up for that matchmaking service.
I'll tell you the same thing I told Lily. Stop screwing with me. You don't get to tell me what my worth as a woman is. You and that home-wrecking whore can screw off and enjoy each other's company without interfering in my life. Though I doubt the two of you will last very long. Both of you were willing to cheat with each other. One of you is bound to do it again with someone else.
I hate to disappoint you, Mia, but you're dead wrong. Me and Lily are deeply, madly in love with each other. We're planning our wedding right now, and we can't wait to make our vows of eternal love in front of the altar.
Good for you. Are you gonna put up any pictures you two took together while we were still engaged?
Uh-oh, is that a hint of jealousy I detect there? Don't worry, maybe you'll find someone who would be willing to put a ring on your finger. Try looking in a nursing home. I'm sure one of them could use a new wife.
Why did you waste your time and money sending me this invitation, Lily? You know full well that I would never attend your wedding under any circumstances. I told the both of you to stop screwing with me. I know, but hear me out. Word on the street is that you're not having any luck with that matchmaking service I signed you up for. So I thought I would try and do something to help you out again. In spite of the way you so cruelly spoke to me during our last conversation, I decided to invite you to our wedding after all. I give up, Lily. Tell me, how is inviting me to your wedding supposed to help me? I'm so glad you asked. So we're gonna invite a ton of people to the wedding. Friends, neighbors, coworkers. It's gonna be lit. I'll bet there's probably gonna be someone there who would be willing to go out with you. I don't need your help, Lily. Please, Mia, you can drop the act. Trying to act tough just makes you look even more pathetic. There's no way you'll find a boyfriend at your age. Least of all, another eligible bachelor like Carter. How about you just admit that you've lost all hope of finding love and accept the help you're being offered? Well, apparently English isn't your strong suit, so let me repeat myself. I do not need your help, Lily. Got it? Oh, Mia, I really wish you would just accept reality. Fine then, if you won't come to my wedding so I can help you find a boyfriend, would you do it as a personal favor to me? Come on, Mia, your darling little sister is on her knees begging you to come to her wedding. There are many words I could use to describe you, Lily. I wouldn't be able to say most of them on TV, and none of them are darling. Carter thought I was darling enough to leave you for me, though. Excuse me? I mean, it's true. Think about it. He left you so he could be with me. That can only mean he sees me as a superior woman to you. Whatever you think of me, that means you're even worse. Go to hell, Lily. What's that? No witty retort this time. Bummer. I guess that means you're all out of ammo. I bet tears are streaming off your chubby cheeks right now onto your phone. Just like the time when you found out that Carter and I were sleeping together. I'll never forget how ugly you looked when you walked in the door and just stared at us, crying your eyes out. It was hilarious. You're a frickin' sociopath. So you've got to come to my wedding, Mia. I know for sure you'll make that same face when you see me and Carter tying the knot. I always regretted not taking a picture of your face that day, so I'm gonna have one photographer focusing on you the whole wedding. Then I'll have a video of you going through unbearable suffering preserved in 4K HD forever. I'll be able to look at it whenever I want to. I can upload it to social media too, so the whole world can see how pathetic and miserable you are. I am at a loss for words, Lily. You are comically evil. I may have given you too much credit when I called you a sociopath. I think the issue is simply that you don't even have a soul. Soul or no, Carter dumped you and chose me. So yeah, you have to come to the wedding. I won't take no for an answer. You wouldn't turn down a heartfelt request from your adorable little sister, would you? It's the last thing I'll ever ask from you, Mia. Just give me this one thing and I'll be out of your hair forever. Fine, I'll come. Yes! I knew you'd say yes. No one can resist a request from someone as adorable as me. Oh, and I know you don't have much to work with, but try to make yourself look acceptable when you come to the wedding, okay? Who knows? Maybe you might actually have the encounter of a lifetime when you're there. If I might make one recommendation, though, before you come, you should probably consider getting a healthy amount of plastic surgery. You know, to hide your age and your ugliness. You got it, Lily. You're not gonna believe your eyes when you see how I look that day. I'm gonna help you make this a wedding that you are never gonna forget until the day you die. I hope you're ready for it. Oh, I am super excited. Make sure you send back the RSVP, okay? I'm gonna give you the best seat in the entire chapel. What do you think you're doing, Mia? I can't believe you. You are ruining my wedding. What makes you say that, Lily? As far as I can tell, everyone looks like they're having an incredible time. Well, I'm not. I'm miserable thanks to you. Didn't you see how much everyone liked my speech? The whole church gave me a massive round of applause at the end. It was great to see how attentive everyone was. That made everything worth it. Well, good for you, Mia. Glad you got a good reception. Even though everyone was booing me, though. The ugly older sister getting a massive round of applause while the bride gets booed and jeered. This has got to be the worst wedding in the history of the world. I don't think you have any room to complain about that, though. After all, you were the one who did something to deserve that hallelujah chorus of boos. Who would want to celebrate the union of a home-wrecking whore and the groom she stole from her sister? You had no right to do that. How could you? How could you tell everyone how I stole Carter from you at our wedding? I never told anyone about that, not even my best friends. No one knew. And then you announced your own engagement at the very end. You completely stole the show. This was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. But thanks to your melodramatic little speech, you made it the most miserable one. Okay, in my defense, I didn't actually expect everyone to give me that massive round of applause. Like, I thought the reaction would be slightly positive, if not a bit startled, but man, that was crazy. The way everyone stood up and started chanting my name, Mia, Mia, Mia. I felt like I had just scored the winning touchdown at the Super Bowl. And one more thing, are you really engaged, or did you just make that up to make everyone support you more? It's only been a couple months since Carter dumped you. And I mean, I saw how catastrophically depressed you were at the time. You went from the deepest pits of despair to finding a new fiancé in that short span of time. It's such a perfect story for you, it just doesn't seem possible. Sorry to say it, Lily, but that part was 100% true. Aunt Rebecca picked out one of those guys from the matchmaking service and set us up on a date, and we really hit it off. It didn't take but a few dates for us to realize we had a really strong connection, and we started to talk about marriage soon after that. What? You mean that stupid matchmaking service actually worked? But I've been hearing that you weren't finding any decent guys at all. That genuinely was the case at first. I was having trouble connecting with a guy I was compatible with. I had a bunch of dates that were absolute torture from the moment we said hello. But that was all before I told her the truth about you, how you had stolen my fiancé and were doing this in order to twist the knife. I thanked her for her time and effort and told her that I don't need her to set me up any more dates. After that, her entire attitude changed. She told me that now she was more committed than ever to helping me find happiness. You told her? Yep, and I'm glad I did too, because just like she promised, the quality of the men she was introducing to me skyrocketed instantly. Now that she knew the precise reason why I was fed up with the romance and ready to renounce it entirely, she had a much better idea of what men to look for. The last thing she told me before she left that night was, "Mia, the sweetest revenge you could ever have would be to become happier than Lily and Carter, and I'm going to make sure that happens." Every date I had after that was nothing but some of the most eligible bachelors I could ever ask for. Eligible? You mean like they were handsome or something? Yeah, but not just that. I was going out to dinner with doctors, lawyers, executives. It was insane. One of them was even a former actor. I had no idea there were so many men like them looking for love. How have they not gotten themselves wives yet? What? I don't believe this. That's not fair. Why do you get to spend so much time with so many high-spec men? It's not like I was dating all of them. I was looking for a life partner. And I found one. I told him about how you slept with my fiancé and were getting married to him, and even with that knowledge, he still asked me to be his girlfriend. He told me that we could take things as slow as I wanted and that he would wait until I was ready to move things along. I was so happy to hear him express such concern for me that I told him I wanted to marry him. So, who is this guy anyway? What's he like? And how much money does he make? I haven't asked him for a specific number yet, but he tells me that he owns and runs multiple companies. But he tells me that I'll never have to work a day in my life if I don't want to. He'll make enough for the both of us. We're looking at destinations for our honeymoon, and he's having me choose from a pamphlet that doesn't list any prices. According to him, the kind of people who purchase these vacation packages aren't worried about the price tag. Are you kidding me? That's unreal. Who did you get engaged to, Mia? Bruce Wayne? I thought guys like that only existed in romantic comedy movies. How did Aunt Rebecca find this guy? Was he really just one of the guys who had signed up for the same matchmaking service? I have no idea where she found him, but wow, am I glad she did. Oh, and another thing. Aunt Rebecca was the one who came up with the plan for me to announce my engagement at your wedding today. She said that since I was going out of my way to do a personal favor for you and granting a heartfelt request from my adorable little sister, that you owe me a personal favor in return. That stupid old hag, she gave you this idea. I thought she was on my side. She wasn't supposed to actually help you find a guy. Thank you so much for inviting me to your wedding, Lily. It felt great to have so many people cheering me on. So that's that. I did a favor for you by coming to my wedding, and you did a favor for me by allowing me to make my announcement. We're even now, and we can go back to not speaking to each other again. You don't have to tell me twice. I never want to see your fat, ugly face again. I will never forgive you for ruining my wedding. Delete my number from your phone. Forget I even exist. Just go away.
Mia, you're really engaged to another guy? Does that mean you're not in love with me anymore?
What kind of question is that? I haven't loved you for months, Carter.
No. How can you talk like that to me? I never stopped loving you.
Huh? What's going on here? Are you drunk or something? You broke up with me and are marrying Lily. Aren't you guys in love with each other?
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's just, it was a huge shock to hear you're getting engaged. I don't know, it made me really sad to hear that you're getting married to someone other than me. It brought back a lot of old memories. Like your cooking. I miss the food you used to make for me.
What the?
I miss the way you'd get mad at me over telling you to do the housework. Lily never gets mad at me. But she doesn't do any housework either. Neither of us do. So all the rooms in the house are filthy, there are stains on the carpet, it's a mess. And she never cooks, so we always eat out. I got to thinking, I don't know if I can keep living like this for the rest of my life. What do you say, Mia? Would you be willing to give me a second chance?
Of course not. What are you thinking, trying to get back together with me like that?
I'm serious, Mia. I realize now that you're the only girl for me. You've only known that loser fiancé of yours for a few months. You can just break it off with him. You don't need him when you have me.
I don't have you. I don't think I ever did, actually. I do have my new fiancé, however. I wouldn't leave him for any man, much less a man who cheated on me with my own sister.
Please, Mia.
You just invited all your friends, family, and coworkers to your extravagant wedding, Carter. Stop this foolishness right now and go make Lily as happy as you can. Just know that the two of you will never be as happy as I am with my fiancé. I hope you're proud of yourself, Mia. The fallout of what you did at my wedding still just keeps on coming. Oh, do tell, Lily. Now that Mom and Dad found out Carter was cheating on you with me, they're super angry at me. All our aunts and uncles are texting me and telling me what an awful person I am. And even my friends are telling me they don't want to hang out with me anymore. My best friend since high school called me a homewrecker and blocked me. Sounds about right to me. I bet a lot of your friends are looking to get married in the near future. I don't blame them for not wanting to risk you stealing any of their men away from them, as you've shown you're willing to do. I would never steal my friends' boyfriends. You mean your sister is fair game, but not your friends? No one's gonna believe that. But that's not even the worst part. Do you want to know what Carter's been doing all day? He's been going through his phone, looking at pictures of him and you, and crying his eyes out. We just got married yesterday, and he won't even look at me. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. I guess you'll have no choice but to win his heart back. I would suggest learning to cook as a first step. Why should I? I hate cooking. I hate it even more than cleaning. It's the worst. Have I got a solution for you? Aunt Rebecca said she wouldn't mind giving you some cooking lessons. Huh? Yeah, she just dropped by my house for a cup of tea. We got to talking about you, and she thought that might be a solution to some of your problems. She did say that she's a strict teacher, so you should be prepared for that. I am not gonna take cooking lessons. Screw that! Okay, well, then you'd better find some other way to keep him from dumping you. If you're not gonna do his cooking or his cleaning for him, you should probably start mentally preparing yourself for when he inevitably cheats on you. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? You think Carter's gonna cheat on me? He would never dump me. Never say never, Lily. He's already cheated on one woman before. What makes you so sure he won't do it again? Duh, I am way prettier than you are. I know what a man really wants, and I'm gonna give it to him. I'll make sure he never even thinks about another woman. You're too late for that, Lily. He was texting me yesterday asking me if I wanted to get back together with him. No way! Don't worry, I turned him down. I'm not a cheater, unlike some people I know. From the looks of things, though, he's already giving some serious thought to leaving you. No, that can't be. We just had an awesome wedding yesterday. We spent so much time planning it together, and it cost us a ton of money. I can't get divorced one day after getting married. The way I see it, you've got 3 choices. 1, get used to doing 100% of the cooking and cleaning very quickly. 2, get used to the idea of sharing your husband with another woman. Or 3, get used to the idea of being divorced before turning 30. Oh, and if you feel like learning how to cook, don't hesitate to give Aunt Rebecca a call. Lily became super suspicious of Carter from that day forward. She went out and bought a bunch of GPS tags and put them on all his work bags and suitcases. She even sewed some into his clothes. It seems she's trying her hand at doing some cooking, but it isn't going very well. Apparently her cooking is so bad, Carter is deliberately staying late at work to avoid having to eat what she makes for him. Aunt Rebecca's doing her best to try and help Lily out in the best way she can. The other day, Lily finally broke down and called up Aunt Rebecca, begging her to teach her how to cook. It just so happened that Aunt Rebecca was visiting with me when she got that call. I wish you could have seen the devilish grin she had on her face when she quietly responded to her by saying, "It would be my pleasure." I texted Aunt Rebecca after their first lesson together asking how it went. She replied by sending me a picture of Lily curled up in the floor in the fetal position, covered from head to toe in flour, cinnamon, chili powder, and beef bouillon. I asked her what on earth she was trying to cook, and Aunt Rebecca said spaghetti. So it seems like Lily has a long road ahead of her. Here's hoping for the best.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Hey, listen. Is it really true that you guys received $5 million from your husband's parents after they passed away? What? Oh, I guess I meant that Dave got $5 million from his parents' will, right? Man, but really, who would have thought that his parents had that kind of money just sitting around all the way until their passing? I so wonder why I ended up divorcing a man like him now. Had I known about all that cash, then I would have never left him. I'm sorry, who is this? Oh, I'm sorry for getting so carried away there. I'm Dave's ex-wife, Catalina. And you should be Summer, right? You and him got married around 10 years ago, correct? That's true, but how come you know my phone number? And how do you know about my husband's money that he just received? There is nothing in this world I don't know about. And one of those things that I started to know about recently was that my ex got married again. I don't get it though, considering he told me that he'd love me forever and ever. Well, this is probably another reason why I chose to divorce him back then. Well, when you stab someone in the back and then divorce them, they tend to stop loving you anymore. Huh? I've heard quite a bit about you myself from Dave. You just got up and vanished one day out of Dave's sight without ever telling him, right? There was another man you ran off with, right? And that's why you left him with a stack of divorce papers on the counter that you had already gone through and filled out. That's all I've heard from Dave about what happened then. Oh my, so you do know about what happened between us. Well, since you seem to know so much about me as well, that'll help moving this conversation along. There's actually a very good reason for why I'm contacting you today. I'm sorry to ask this, but can you please go tell Dave that he needs to hand me all that money he got from his parents? What? You want me to tell him that he needs to give you that $5 million? Yes, that's right. And the reason I ask is that because I'm his ex-wife, I also have a right to that money. Huh? I've been trying to contact Dave about this time after time already, but ever since the divorce, he's been ignoring me completely. That's why I had no other choice but to look up his wife's contact info and reach out to her. Therefore, can I ask you to please send him that message I've told you? Hold on for one moment. Why do you think you have any right to that money he inherited from his parents? Because I have the right. I mean, back when I was married to him, I had to live together with his parents at their house. Huh? Back when living with his parents, every day was so hard for me. As his wife, I was forced to do all the chores there. I had to cook for everyone and clean for everyone. Literally anything his parents and him didn't want to do was given to me. But because of all that work I put in, you can say that I was a better caretaker for both his parents than Dave was, right? That's why, as a thank you for all that time and effort I sacrificed, I should be given at least a percentage of that inheritance. As a thank you? I've heard from many people before that as someone who took care of them while they were growing older and older, I have a right to some of their things. So considering that I put in all that work for those two, shouldn't I get something in return now? At the very least? I think 100,000 would be enough to satisfy me. 100,000 at the very least? It was so hard having to live with his parents. You should be able to understand where I'm coming from here since you're his current wife. Don't you think that's a fair amount to be asking for right now? Not at all. The only thing I'm thinking right now is, when is this clown gonna shut up? I've heard all about the time you had to live with his parents alongside him, and as far as I can tell, what you got in the end is what you deserved. Wasn't the reason for you having to live with them in the first place the fact that you went and used up all Dave's money that was meant for a new house on yourself? And so as a punishment for that, he had you and himself move back in with his parents and made sure they worked you enough to make up for all that money of his. What? Dave's even gone and told you about all of that part as well? From what all I've been told, you were forcing Dave to work and bring in all his money for your sake. He had even tried to ask you to take some time off from doing the chores if you wanted, as long as you got a part-time job or something to help bring in money for your spending. Yet you never listened to him and just continued to use him as though he was your wallet or something. That was... He told me that every time he'd confront you, all you'd reply with is saying that you only wanted to do the most simple chores in the house. Therefore, there was never a moment where you went and helped Dave earn more money for the house by getting a part-time job. And then, when you started to get upset with his parents for working you all the time in their home, you would leave at night to go mess around with another man. So, can you tell me again, Catalina, what part of all that is a good enough reason for you getting any bit of that inheritance he got from his parents? You're a real annoyance, aren't you? Just because you're his frickin' wife does not mean you get to talk to me like that. You're the one that ended up marrying my leftovers, so do you really think that someone in your position can talk to me like that right now? Excuse me? I want to talk with Dave about all this, so shut the hell up and go let him know I need to talk. Stop trying to get in my frickin' way when all I'm asking for is 100,000 from him. I wasn't trying to get in the way of you or Dave, to be fair. Well, then you shut up and do as I asked. Now, you go and let Dave know what I've said. You're going to tell him all the details, right? Dave, can you talk for a second? I know you probably don't want to talk about this, but I have news for you from your ex.
From Catalina?
Just a little bit ago, she had texted me about this. She told me that she's been trying to get in touch with you, but you kept ignoring her, so she had to talk to me instead.
Could this all be about her wanting part of the inheritance?
Yep. She wants 100,000 from you, at the very least. She says that she deserves the money after having to live and work with your parents for a few years.
I thought that by ignoring all her constant calls and texts that she'd give up, but no. She actually went ahead and started talking to you. I'm sorry, Summer. You shouldn't have to be involved in all of this.
No worries, Dave. It's not your fault. But seeing her trying this hard to get a bit of that money from you, did she really live that difficult of a life with your parents back when you told her she needed to go help them? She was telling me about how she was forced into doing everything for them for years as their caretaker.
Huh? How was any of that difficult for her? She told me she didn't want to work a part-time job at all. So I sent her there to help them with their chores. But every single day was the worst. When it came to her cooking, she'd still go out to the store and pick up pre-made foods for both my parents and I. And when the doctor started to tell my parents that they needed to stop taking in so much salt, Catalina went ahead and continued to feed them more fried foods. She would never put any effort into cleaning the house and would just sit around complaining about having to pick up a few crumbs off the floor or something.
The fact that she thinks she deserves even 100,000 from you all for that is crazy. I've already tried to tell her off myself now. But I'm thinking it would be better that you got in touch with her one time and told her to leave us alone yourself. What do you think?
No, just having to talk to her in general is a waste of time. That's why I'm just going to continue to ignore her, and you should do the same.
But by doing something like that to her, she'll never understand that you literally won't give her a penny and might continue to try harder and harder to talk to you. I think you should get in touch with her once and let her know that the money is not hers, and that her piss-poor effort while married to you will not be met with any reward. I get that ignoring her is the easier thing to do here, but over time it's going to start to wear you down even.
Well, I suppose it's a good point, but I really don't want anything to do with that witch anymore. I don't even think she'll listen to a thing I say to her if I take the time to reach out.
Let's just try our best, Dave. We don't have to convince her to agree with our stance or anything, just as long as we explain the situation with that money to her. Also, if you continue to ignore her all the time, she's just going to keep trying to talk to me about all this.
I wouldn't want that either. You have nothing to do with any of this. So she should just stick to me and leave you the hell alone. All right, fine. Guess I have no other choice but to go and tell that witch off. I really don't feel good about all of this, but I guess it wouldn't hurt me too much to have to talk with her.
I'm so sorry, Summer, but it looks like I'll be getting that $5 million from Dave after all. Excuse me? But this is all because of you as well, right? You went ahead and told him what I was asking for me. You are much like Dave's and my Cupid right now. I'm not really sure what all you're talking about right now, so could you please walk me through again what's happened? Actually, just a little while ago, I got in touch with Dave again. I thought he was calling me to say that he'd be sending me some money soon, but instead, he actually asked to come and see me in person. He said he had some really important stuff he wanted to talk to me about. And considering it had been so long since we last saw one another, he asked if we could talk over lunch or dinner. This has to be him trying to get back with me, right? He's going to come with all that money he inherited and propose to me again like he did so long ago. I'm not sure that's what's going to happen at all. I'm sure you just have the wrong idea here, so could you please keep all of that to yourself from now on? Wait, how is any of this the wrong idea? I happen to be prettier than you and use all kinds of higher-end cosmetics than you. I know for a fact that he's going to want to get back with me, and that's why he's coming out to talk with me in person. Huh? And another thing with Dave. For the longest time now, he's been ignoring me, right? But when I sent him a picture of myself looking my very best, he started to reply to me again like things had never changed. And that's when he told me he had something he wants to talk about, so we'll meet in public to have that talk. You sent him a picture of yourself? You would really do something like that to someone else's husband? Well, starting really soon, he's going to be coming back to me, so what's the big deal? I am so looking forward to the dinner we'll be having soon. I think I'll wear a really nice dress today to prepare for that proposal he has for me. Oh, but there's also a chance that tonight we'll be staying out at the same hotel, so I need to be ready for that. I'll make sure to get myself all prepared for that as well now, too. Would you cut all that out right now? Dave is not going out to see you with the intent of getting back together. I understand that you want to think something like that, but Dave is back to being focused on me again. That's why after so many years of ignoring me, he's finally stopped trying to evade me and is coming right back. You're going to be tossed aside in only a couple more hours, so you'd better get yourself ready for that divorce. What? I need to get a head start on filling out all the papers for our marriage now as well then. He's already putting in all the work to finally come back to me tonight, so the least I could do is get that paperwork all ready. And then both Dave and all that inheritance will be mine. Dave's parents are still alive, you know. What? I can't do this anymore. There's no way I can ask Dave to go and meet with someone as mentally unstable as you now. So in order to keep him away from you, I'll tell you everything you need to know right now. All of the things you've been confused about this whole time. Confused about what? By the way, what the hell are you talking about by saying his parents are still alive? Dave just got $5 million as an inheritance from them. If his parents hadn't died, then how would he be able to get that kind of money from them? You are partially correct. Dave did, in fact, get $5 million as an inheritance. But whoever told you that money came from his parents? Huh? Well, just by hearing that, wouldn't it normally be the case that he got the money from his dead parents? Let me ask you this, actually. If it wasn't from his parents that he got that inheritance, then who the hell did it come from? From your parents, Catalina. Huh? From mine? Yes, that's right.
your parents went ahead and gave Dave $5 million after they passed away. It was written in their will that he get that amount of money, so there was no way we could say no to it. The lawyer told us when handing over the money that your parents wanted him to have the money as a way of saying sorry for their terrible daughter. And that even though he wasn't related to them by blood or anything, he was still like a son to them. So that's what ended up happening.
Huh? No way in hell that happened. Stop trying to lie about something as serious as that.
I'm just telling you the truth is all.
How is any of that the truth? My family is just your average family, and neither of my parents would have ever had $5 million just sitting around. And hold on, they aren't even dead yet. So tell me, when did they actually die, and what would have made them give their daughter's ex all of that money? I have no idea what you're going on about right now, and I might consider you more mentally unstable than myself right now.
I'm sure to you, both of your parents may have seemed like any other family, but in reality, those two were very good at saving up money. And I'm really sorry to have to break it to you this way, but your parents are long gone.
What? You're really going to continue telling me that sick joke?
This must mean you had no idea what happened then. That's why Dave wanted to meet with you in person. And actually, it was me that convinced him to go out and talk with you in person about all the important details. And, well, that all happened around the same time you sent him that picture of yourself to try and get him to talk. Dave has never, ever thought of getting back together with you, and to be honest, he doesn't even really want to see you in person.
Wait a second. It's not that I don't understand you, but rather I'm totally blanking on what's happening right now. What do you even mean when you say that my parents have passed away?
Later on, you can listen to what Dave has to tell you when it comes to your parents passing. And when that time comes, you will listen to him in a serious manner and will stop trying to talk about getting back together again, right? Now I need to get going.
Thank you so much, Summer. You really did me a huge favor by bringing a lot of that stuff up with Catalina before I had to talk with her. Because of that, the whole time you remained quiet and listened to me, and the whole conversation went over smoothly.
That's great to hear. But how was Catalina when you saw her?
You could say she was looking really sad, but I think it was just all the shock that was making her look that way. But that's what'll happen, right? She had no idea her own parents passed away and had to be told today by her ex's wife.
That's right. She had all that information crammed into her head today, so of course she'd be frozen stiff from being in shock.
But this is just another step in the ladder of things she's had coming for her all this time, right? Back when her dad passed away in that car accident, she never answered any of the calls her mother gave her. And then when her mother passed away from that illness a couple of years later, she didn't answer any of the calls from the hospital.
Even after all those calls from both the hospital and her family, she never bothered to call back, huh? Had she just answered one of those calls, she wouldn't have had to live frozen in shock like she is now.
But there was a reason for why she never answered any of those calls from anyone then. So it's unfortunate that she never got to be with her family during either of her parents' deaths, but that's on her. You remember me telling you about how the divorce happened, right? About how Catalina ran off with the man she was cheating on me with and left me the divorce papers? At the time, she had borrowed money from my family in order to run away from me. The reason we never had enough money to move up from my parents' house and get a place of our own is because she borrowed $50,000 from them, and they took that from me thereafter.
Wait, really?
She had cried and begged for my mom and dad to give her some money so that she could get away because living with them was too hard. And so in the end, they gave her $50,000, thinking she'd use it with me to get us a house or an apartment. But in the end, we found out she was using that money to run away. And we only found that out after we got a call a few days later from where she told me she was gone for good. After that last call, though, she never answered any more of our calls or texts, and so we thought that was the end of her.
So that's why she was never answering any of her family's calls to her either? Or any calls, for that matter?
Which is crazy because her dad's accident and mother's illness all happened years after that. Yet she was still dodging any call or text people gave her. Had she just answered someone, then none of this would have ever happened to her now, and you and I could be living without her bothering us.
Now that you mention all of that, your mom really wanted to find Catalina and talk with her again, right?
When you and I got married, there was another couple at the wedding you may have remembered, right? They were around my parents' age and both wore very standard formal wear. Those were Catalina's parents, and ever since she ran off, they had been very close to me. That's why I felt I needed to go see her mom when she was in the hospital, and why I was there for both her mom and dad's funerals. I was even there to help with her mom's bedside care for some time before she had to go to the hospital. I just never thought that continued relationship with them would end with them writing me down in their will for $5 million.
I remember that day so clearly, Dave. That lawyer called you out of nowhere, and before we could even ask what the call was about, he was telling you there was an inheritance that you needed to receive. And when we went in to get it, it turned out to be $5 million. I almost passed out when I heard that number from the lawyer. Your ex's mother really left you with more than anyone was ever expecting, huh?
Had Catalina actually stayed in touch with her parents, she might have actually gotten some money from them. She could have used that time she might have had left with her parents to apologize for what she did and all that.
Well, I think her not getting a single penny from them is what she deserves. But I wonder if after hearing all of this from you and I, will she be willing to give up now?
The only option she has now is to give up. The reason all of this is happening to her is her own fault. And if she really still wants to have a piece of this money, then she can go talk to the lawyer about it. I'm sure he can get the point across to her that this is what her mom wanted.
Well, let's just call this the end then. Good work, Dave. I'll make you a small meal for when you get home, and then I'll get the bath all ready for you so that you can calm your nerves a little.
Give me back my inheritance. That $5 million should be going to me. Why do I have to sit here and let that money go to my ex and his wife now?
You already heard about everything from Dave yesterday, right? You never answered any of your family's calls or texts, and so this is what you get for completely ignoring all of them.
Shut the hell up! I am going to go over there and steal all that money back right now. I'll make sure all $5 million are back in my hands. What? I never actually knew my own parents had all that money saved up before their deaths. I could have sworn they didn't have much money at all, and they never once lived like celebrities or anything like that while I was around. And how was I even supposed to know my dad got into an accident and died, and that my mom became sick a year later and passed from that? How the hell could they just give Dave all their money just because I didn't answer some stupid phone calls? I will not let this happen to me.
If you have some complaints about how things turned out, why don't you go and tell that to their gravestones? They were the ones that chose to give Dave this money, so you have to talk to them.
Shut up! I am tired of talking about this with you, so get that goddamn money together and wait for me to come over and get it. I'll be bringing a lawyer along with me who knows all about that kind of stuff as well, so you won't be able to say a single thing. I'll make sure that $5 million all comes back to me.
I guess there's really no other option now. If that's how you're going to behave, then so will Dave and I. You are more than welcome to come here with that lawyer of yours. But know that the moment you step foot on our property, you will be owing my husband $50,000.
Huh? $50,000? What the hell is that money for?
That happens to be the amount of money you borrowed from Dave's parents, right? You do remember when you went and took that money from them, making it seem like you and Dave would be getting a new place, only to run off and use the money to get away from Dave, right?
I remember all of that, but why do I have to pay that back? The parents I got that money from are both dead now.
The thing is, though, it's your parents who are dead and Dave's who are still around. And since you took that money from them, they are asking for it back now.
What?
Back after the divorce, your parents actually got in touch with Dave's and handed them $50,000 so that Dave didn't have to end up paying his parents anything for what you'd done. However, when your dad passed away, your mom wrote in the will for Dave that he would be getting both the $5 million and the $50,000 that you should be owing your parents, who are now both gone. So, Catalina, you have to pay Dave $50,000 now.
What did you say?
Even though the people you should have owed that money to are gone now, you will still have that debt in your name forever. And, well, the person to receive that money from you was passed over to Dave in the will as well. You did say you'd be bringing a pretty strong lawyer along with you, right? I won't even have to explain anything to him then, because all he'll have to do is have a look at the will and that'll be all.
Wow, I never thought you'd bring a pro and all that legal work along with you to pay us that $50,000 back.
That is so very helpful of you, Catalina.
Wait.
I don't care about any of that crap, so you're not getting any $50,000 from me. You really think saying you don't care about the law will make a lawyer turn a blind eye to you? Well, if that's the case, then I suppose we can just say we don't care about you getting this $5 million from us, and so you won't be getting anything. Huh? Now I have to get going. If you still have things to complain about to us for some reason, then please bring us that $50,000 and then we'll listen. And after that last text from me, I never got another message from her again. I made sure to tell Dave about what she was saying just in case, and he told me he really doesn't care about the $50,000 from her since he already got $5 million. And actually, he said it was good that I made that remark about the $50,000 because that should be enough to keep her out of our hair for the rest of the time. As for what Catalina's been up to after all that, she started to go around telling loan sharks and such that her husband had $5 million coming his way and used that lie in order to borrow large amounts of money. However, since that was a lie and the loan sharks are starting to figure all that out, she's been having a really hard time running from all their goons. Recently, we had heard some more news about her and what happened regarding those loan sharks. And it turns out that some of them were far scarier than even she thought, which led to Catalina no longer being in the US anymore.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.